Welcome back to the Racing Dudes YouTube channel. I'm here today to tell you why Victory Avenue can win the Fountain of Youth. Victory Avenue is one of the last horses sired by Airgate, so there is a lot of hype around this horse and who he may be based on his bloodline alone. Airgate sired Secret Oath, Archangelo, Cave Rock, just to name a few. So based off that alone, I do not think that this horse will have any issue getting the added distance. Now, everyone is going to say, you're going to bet a maiden? The answer is yes. He has only raced one time. Looking back at that race, he looked very uncomfortable in the gate. So I like that he at least has that race under his belt because he was a little bit green. And that one maiden race that he was in was not an easy race. He was met with Speak Easy. Everyone who watched that race is now going to be on Speak Easy because it was such a good race. And that is why I think a lot of people are going to be looking past Victory Avenue. Victory Avenue led that race up until the very end. Now let's talk about the horses who everyone's going to be betting. There is Dornoch, who is 2-1 right now, and we have not seen him since December, and the last time in December was the Remsen Stakes. He won that by a nose to Sierra Leone, who was coming off the pace and almost nosed him out. I want to point out, though, on that day is one of the biggest inside speed biases that we have seen in a very long time. You just had to get the lead and keep it. I don't see him getting the lead, and I really don't think that is going to cause some issues to him because in his past races, when he didn't get the lead, he didn't win. I also want to mention that I don't think the Remsen is always the best indicator of a good horse. Last year, do you guys even know who won that race? That's W. Nell, who went on to not hit the board in the next two races. An argument will be Remsen's great because Mo Donegal came out of that. Well, he got third in his next time out, so there's that. The next horse will be Locked, who is a co-favorite. He won the Breeders' Cup, or Breeders' Futurity against the Wine Steward, who we have yet to see. Come on, Mike Minker, I need that horse to come back. But anyways, he then went on to the Juvenile, where he got third behind Fierceness, who just flopped, and Muth, who won the San Vincent Stakes back in January. The issue that I have with Locke is that he was pointed to the Sam F. Davis, spiked a fever, missed a whole entire week of training. Another thing is when looking at his past workouts and his past races, his best stride seems to come at the end of the stretch. And with a short stretch at Gulfstream at 1:16, I think that's really going to work against him. Gulfstream is speed favoring, so I'm looking for speed. I'm also looking for a horse who has been consistently racing, is not coming off of a layoff. And I also want a horse who is familiar with this track, and that is how I got to Victory Avenue. I am here to tell you why Bolt at Midnight can win the John Battaglia Stakes. This 3-year-old is by Bolt Dioro and is 1-for-5 lifetime. Yes, that sounds terrible, but listen up. Let's talk about his last race. It was a maiden special weight going a mile on this track. He was able to get the lead and keep it. He ended up by winning over by 4 lengths. He also got an 87 buyer that day, which is the highest in this field. Some things that I like about that race is that he was able to re-break in the stretch and clear away from the rest of the pack. So that shows me that he had some left in him. So this distance doesn't really concern me. The more than likely favorite is Epic Ride, who has won his last 2 races at Turfway. He beat out a few of these horses in here, but he likes to stalk the pace. So I have some questions whether he's going to be able to stalk the pace if he has a couple more fewer, faster horses in here, like Gettysburg, Encino, Bolt at Midnight, because he really hasn't been pressured too much in his other races. Another thing I want to mention is that Bolt at Midnight was 2 seconds faster in a race at the same distance than Epic Ride was in the Leonatus. I probably butchered that, it's fine. Gettysburg Address and Encino are both trained by Brad Cox. I'm sure they're both going to be bet heavily, but I just don't really like either of them. I think that Gettysburg Address is not very good. He hasn't won since his maiden in August and has gotten 3 straight 4th places. Encino was bet down to 3-5 in his last race and won by half a length with a 68 buyer, though. That is just not quick enough for me, and he also draws to the outside, so that's just no good. So I believe that this race is going to be a very, very slow pace. There are not really any true speed horses in here, so I think that Bolt at Midnight gets the lead and he keeps it. I am here today to tell you why Eliminate can win the Gotham Stakes. This field drew 13 horses and there is a lot of speed. So I am looking for a horse who likes to close, and at 15-1 odds, I think that he is the right price. Eliminate is 1-for-4 lifetime. Not great, I get it, but let me tell you why I do like this horse. I want to take you back to his first race at Saratoga where he was against the number 3 Deterministic, who is 9-2 in this race. He was making a move in the stretch and was bumped hard between 2 horses, not once, but twice, which slowed him down and eventually ended up 3rd behind Deterministic. His last race, he was able to get a 104 time form, and yes, it was not against the best of company, but he is by Curlin, and I think that he is really going to be liking stretching out and doing the 1-turn mile, and I like that his form is very recent, that he's been racing a lot recently. The favorite, Just a Touch at 5-2 odds, ran very impressively in his maiden start at Fairgrounds on a sloppy track. He has a lot of early speed, but he's not going to be alone this time. There's about 5 speed horses in here. The number 12 especially, I have a feeling this is going to go very fast. The number 12 is going to put a lot of pressure on him, and I think that there may be a pace meltdown in this race. The next favorite is the number 3 Deterministic, who is 9-2 currently. We've not seen him in 6 months. When he won the debut that I was talking about earlier, I don't really like betting horses who have not made their 3-year-old debut yet, because a lot of times they need a race under their belt in order to have their best form. I think that this is going to be a fast pace. I think that the winner is going to be closing, and at 15-1, I think that Eliminate is the perfect long shot for the Gotham Stakes. Thanks for tuning in to the Racing Dudes YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel so you never miss one of these preview videos. Also, be sure to check out our betting Bible this weekend for the Fountain of Youth Stakes. And until next week, guys, good luck.